And we'll wait. Again, I want to alert you that you can use the closed captioning feature in the center area next to the hand of your Google Meet to initiate closed captioning if you need that. And we're going to get started. We will announce yesterday's winner as soon as I'm done with a meeting after this quick training. So be watching for that this afternoon or early afternoon. And today we're going to be doing some really powerful, more advanced, but not necessarily needing lots of experience tools within Slack called workflows. And I'm going to share my screen here. We're going to dive in, and then I will show you a quick example of one and get you guys going in creating one as quickly as possible. So workflows are a really unique and powerful tool inside of Slack. And I'm going to jump into the 10 days of training channel here. And I created one for today's challenge. And basically you'll see when you click on the shortcuts menu down at the bottom, there is this option for giving feedback. And it's a workflow I created for this channel. And it's going to ask you 3 different questions. I'm just going to put test, add test, and then I get to pick a person who I think in my department who knows Slack best, and I definitely think that's Ryan Rufner, so I'm going to throw that down there, and I'm going to click submit. And then what this does is that simple little task posted in this channel the responses to that quick little form that I posted. But even better than that, inside of Google Sheets, I recorded I think, oh, you know what? Yeah, I think I'm in my right. I recorded those answers in a Google Sheet. So I have this 10 days of training feedback, and there I get my answers and for those 3 questions that I had asked. So a workflow is a really powerful way to get feedback from a team and post it in a channel or post it into a Google Sheet. It does not have to be publicly posted, but I'm going to walk you through how to create that today, because if you can do this, it's pretty awesome, powerful feature, and it's really robust. This was one application of how to use a workflow, but there are many. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into my own personal channel, and I'm going to let you know that you can post responses and things like that to a channel. I'm going to encourage you and demand that you don't do that in a public channel for obvious reasons. We don't want everybody to, be annoyed by all the responses and pings. So you got to be careful what channels and that you create personal channels for those. But I'm going to come into this EL demo test channel, and I'm going to create a new workflow, and this is the channel I'm going to base it out of. You can actually build this anywhere, but you need to have the channel created, and this is the channel I'll use. So I'm going to click up here on the title, Los Angeles Pacific University, and you'll notice there's this option for tools, and you should have, and all of you should have this, because demo student does, but Workflow Builder. Workflow Builder is a kind of a separate tool. It may ask you if you need some inspiration. They have several templates and things that are already created, but I'm just going to create my own workflow, and you can do that by clicking on the green button up here or this button down here. And I'm going to say create, and I'm going to give my workflow a name, and I'm just going to call it random workflow, because I don't know what else to call it on the fly. We're going to click next, and now I can choose a variety of ways to start a workflow. I can do it based on a shortcut, which is in the example I just showed you is how I created that one. I can do it when someone joins a specific channel. So if somebody joins your channel, I can do a number of set things to make that happen. Or I could do it when somebody adds a specific emoji reaction in a channel. Or I could schedule these to come out on a specified date and time. So I could even choose if I'd like the workflow to repeat. So I could create a repeating workflow to maybe ping my team every Friday and ask them what's the best thing that they learned this week, or what was the biggest challenge they overcame. And I could create some kind of channel to capture that information. So for this one, I'm just going to say whenever there's an emoji reaction. So we're going to select that. In which channel. Well, this is where I'm going to choose the EL demo test channel. Again, you don't want to choose any channels that have the pound sign, as those are public channels, and you will annoy everybody to no end if you do that to them. So please don't select those. You're going to check EL demo test. And I'm going to say whenever I see the heart emoji, or we can do 2 of them even. That's even better. So we're going to do the cowboy emoji because Daniel Taronis loves that cowboy. We're going to say next. And then we're going to say, okay, what happens? So when that occurs, what are the steps that are going to occur? So you need to add a step that will launch after someone starts the workflow. So I'm going to say, got it. And I'm going to add my first step. And all I want to do is send a message. And we're going to say, send the message to the channel just for fun. You can do it to the person who reacted, right? So this message can go to the channel it was used in, the person who reacted, a specific message thread, or the person who sent the original message that it was hearted to. So there's lots of fun variations here. And this is also has these same kind of options for some of these other ones. So if somebody did the shortcut, it gives you the option to send the message to the person who started the shortcut and whatnot. So we're going to say the person who reacted. And I'm just going to put yeehaw, that's amazing. Okay, so that's going to be the message text. I could include a button, which would then move people to the next step of the workflow. So I'm going to do that just for fun, and we'll call the button "Click Me and Be Surprised." Right, and then we're going to click save. So that's the first step. So they're going to get the person who reacted is going to get a random workflow message, and then they'll get to click this button. Then I'm going to do a number of other things. So I send a message. You can send a form, which is what I did. I'm going to create a quick form, and I'm going to say to the person who reacted. Yeah. Oh, the person who clicked. So down here, they're going to respond to that, whoever clicked on that button. I'm going to use that one instead. And I'm going to open a form, and then I'm going to call the form random question. And then I'm going to ask them, do you prefer cows or horses, right? So this will be related to that. And then we'll give them, they can select from a list, they can select a person, they can select a channel. So if you want to get like feedback, like, hey, we're just going to do select from a list, and we're going to add cows, and then we're going to add a list item, and we're going to add horses. And then we're going to be done with that. The default selection is none. And then we're going to make this required. I could add additional questions, but for time, we're going to leave it alone. Then I'm going to send those responses to a channel or someone in a DM. Now, I don't have to because I'm capturing that data. I could just send it directly to a Google Sheet. But let's say I want to be notified when somebody uses this shortcut. So I'm going to just leave it here. Or I can, let's do the channel the reaction was used in, which will be that EL channel. So we're going to click save. And then I'm going to add one additional step, and we're just going to add a spreadsheet row, this is linked into Google Sheets. And there are several other apps. There's not a whole lot of lists here, but there's several that Workcast, I guess, somebody has used in our university. So you could create a task out of this situation. So like maybe there's you're creating a help desk situation. What's your ticket? What's the item? Then you can create a task in that, or you can create a poll based on their submission. But I'm just going to use a simple one. We're going to add a spreadsheet row, and I have to sign in with Google. So I'm going to say, okay. And choose an account. I'm going to say, yes, you have permission to edit and move, do things within Google. It is an integration that is between the two. Now it says I can go back to editing my workflow, and you can see that it's logged me in. Now I get to select a spreadsheet, which I don't think I want to use any of these random ones. I need to create one real quick. So I'm just going to go to drive.google.com. Or I'm going to do sheets.new. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to type in a shortcut. This is another tip for you guys. If you want to create a Google Sheet real quickly, you can just do sheets.new inside of a Chrome browser, and you get a brand new Google Sheet. Oh, maybe it's, oh yeah, there you go. Brand new Google Sheet. We're going to call this test survey. And I'm just going to put answer one. You have to have some kind of column heading already saved in your thing to be able to pull from. So now I'm going to go back to Slack here, and I'm going to do test. I'm going to type in test to find my test survey. right? And then I get to select which sheet. It's on sheet 1. And if you don't have any rows in there, which it will say you need to have a sheet with columns. So it actually prompts you if you don't have it. And then I'm going to say, well, I want the value. I want to record the value, but I don't want to write cow or horse here. I'm going to insert a variable. And this is where the power comes in. I can go from that message. I can click the reaction that was added, or I can come down to the send a form and I can response to, do you prefer cows or horses? So that's going to record that response. I'm going to click save. And now I've got this incredible little powerful workflow that I just created. And then I'm going to click publish. There was a problem publishing your workflow. Try publishing it again. There we go. All right. Your workflow is ready to use. Don't be freaked out. Just follow instructions. Usually you'll be all right. So I'm going to go back to Slack and I'm in the EL demo test worksheet. Now I want to add a cowboy reaction to this fact that I just did this, or actually I'll do a heart since that's already right there. So I click a heart and I don't know, I've never seen this work before. Let's see, maybe I need to add the cowboy reaction. It's not even firing. So let's edit that workflow and let's I'll work on figuring that out and I'll post some real answers to that one. But we're going to go back here. We're going to go to tools. We're going to go to workflow builder. Something didn't work in my workflow. So I'm going to edit this workflow by clicking on that 3-dot menu. And we're just going to say, maybe someone needs to react. So it's still there in EL demo test, which I think is where I was, right? So maybe I need to respond to a message. So I'm just going to put hi. And then now I'm going to put a heart there. See if that triggers the workflow. Apparently it won't. So now we're going to change the workflow trigger and we need to do some research on that one. So when, can we change this? We're going to, I don't know if we can get rid of this. I can edit it. All right, here. Let's see. We can't change it. Well, we might have to create a new one. What I'll do is I will show you the one that I created that has to do with the shortcut. And I'm going to go here and we're going to go to the 10 days of training channel. And you will see here up here in the preference. I should have just done what I knew worked. I'm sorry, guys. This is a work in progress. But in here in the tools, in the Slack training feedback I created 22 minutes ago, when somebody fires a shortcut, you're going to get that training. And you saw that it worked because I showed you at the beginning. So I promise you this at least will work. So you can start it with a shortcut. It should be able to start with a time as well. I'm going to submit feedback to Slack that they should also allow you to change the trigger on a feedback. But anyways, so you can see here, all I did, I created this. I actually send a message to the user who submitted the feedback. So we should see in demo student, there's they get a message with some fun little characters there. And then that gets recorded in the spreadsheet row. So that's how you create a simple workflow. I showed you how it works. We're 2 minutes over. I'm sorry. Come into the 10 days of training channel, click down here in the bottom left on that little plus sign, and then look for this workflow within this channel called Give Feedback. Post your answers to those questions. It's going to help us to process how the trainings have helped you. And it will do some fun little things and give you an example of a workflow. And then I encourage you to build your own workflow and attempt to try to do something on your own that might bless your team or help your team function on a higher level this week. And thank you for your time. Is there any questions? Okay, cool. Feel free to private message me if you do have questions, or you want to get specific or want a specified training, one-on-one. I'm more than happy to do that with you guys. But just I hope this has been an awesome experience. Tomorrow we have an incredible Kahoot game scheduled to test your knowledge and to offer somebody one last opportunity for a $10 gift card. Post your responses to the questions in the channel, share out your feedback with everybody, and thank you for joining us today. Bless you guys. Okay, so I figured out that the person who creates the workflow can't trigger the workflow apparently. So I'm going to show you that workflow we just created with my personal account in the EL demo student. It's pretty awesome what happens here. And let me show you. how this works. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So if you remember, I said if somebody responds with a heart emoji, that it would fire the trigger, send a message, and this is how that works. So I'm going to find a thing in here. I'm going to add this heart reaction to this message by demo student, and then I get a notification from Slackbot right here that says, yeehaw, that's amazing. Click me and be surprised. So I click that, click me and be surprised. And then I get this form. Hello, to get started, please fill out this form. I open the form and I get to pick an option. Do you prefer cows or horses? I prefer horses. I'm going to click submit. Boom, I completed the random question. And if I was to come over here to demo student's account, and here I got my response from demo student in the EL demo student channel. There's my submission that says, I got a response from Mike Wilde. Do you prefer cows or horses? And it says horses. So pretty cool, powerful little workflow. Hope you enjoy.